Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to HeKate's Crossing. I'm just going through the Tarot Familiars, and I thought of an idea that might help as you are learning tarot or learning a new deck in some way. This is a little thing I normally do is I take the Fool card and I look at who he is, what he's about, and I start to write a story. But I thought I'd try something a little different and do this by video for a change. So what we're doing is we're looking at the Fool in the Tarot Familiar. And we see a cat and he's lazing around. Looks like there's lots of pillows and things around him. He's got a pack of cards in front of him. Now the Fool we know talks about new beginnings, he's free-spirited, he's a student of life. And he stepped out of the dark and he's starting this new journey. And the first person he comes across is the Magician. Now what's the Magician doing? In this particular card, he's got this book that's open, it's shining light, it's glowing. Okay, and we look at what else he's doing. He's in front of a window and there's a moon in the background. So we know that it's night time. So the Fool has stepped into night and he's come across the Magician who's sitting there reading his book that's sparkling. Now the Magician's going to give him a message. What is that message that the Magician is going to give the Fool? He's going to talk to him about learning. Okay, so this one here is the Fool starts his journey, and as it becomes dark and the full moon comes out, he sees the Magician. The Magician is reading his book and talks to the Fool about learning, knowledge, manifesting your reality by using the tools that you have available to you is very important at this time. The Fool then moves on and he comes across the High Priestess. The High Priestess, another little kitty cat, with her witch's broom. So she's about magic, sorcery. She tells the Fool, you need to look at the hidden texts, the sacredness, the occult, the mystery. She talks to him about connecting with the divine. So the Fool has spoken to the Magician and discovered about learning. And he's discovered about using the tools that have available to him. The High Priestess talks about the hidden secrets, the mysteries of the divine, connecting to the divine. He next comes across the Empress. The Empress talks to him about motherhood, tells him to make sure that he's nurturing others, sees the beauty in all aspects of life. So next time the Fool comes across, says goodbye to the Empress and comes across the Emperor. The Emperor says, I'm in charge. I'm the boss. I'm the manager. You have to be in charge of your own life. It's up to you what you decide to do. The Hierophant comes along and says to the Fool, you need to learn and have faith in yourself. Look at the lessons that you are learning as you travel this journey. Reflect and acknowledge where you are at this time and how much you've learnt already. The lovers come across and together they tell the Fool, the lovers, comes across and tells the fool that he has choices to make in life, how he chooses to create some balance, how using the opposite forces of life will help him achieve. Partnership and relationship with others is also important. He comes across the Chariot, and the Chariot talks to him, charioteer talks to him about direction, about having success and victory in life. Now this is where it gets interesting, because cards are slightly different here. Once the charioteer rides off, the Justice card arrives. The lawyer, legalities, talks about balance and equilibrium, and saying how important it is to understand that every action has consequences in life. Now, in this deck, number 9 is actually strength. Strength tells the fool that he must have endurance and stamina to achieve his results. As the fool continues his journey, thinking about what he's learnt so far, he's learnt about using the tools that he must have. He's learnt about connecting to the secrets of the divine. He's learnt about motherhood, about nurturing others, and seeing the beauty in the journey. He's also learnt about being in control, being an authoritative figure in his own journey. The Hierophant has talked to him about his own faith, his own beliefs, and reflecting on those. The lovers have told him that there's choices to be made in life. Some of them are challenges, of course. He's also learned that the possibility of victory and success comes from his own direction. He's learned, the fool has also learned, about every choice, every action he takes has consequences. He's learned about creating balance and equilibrium in his life. The fool has also learned about strength, about having courage and endurance. He stopped for a moment and he realizes he's moving towards the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune talks about destiny or fate, life's ups and downs and acceptances. So he reflects on that for a moment, and he realizes that his life has been going in a direction. Is it the direction that he really wants to go? He has to think. He comes across the hermit who shines his light. And the hermit says to him, do you have the wisdom, the knowledge from the experience gained? Are you using this time of solitude for reflection and contemplation? He comes across the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man says to him, are you looking at things from a new perspective, from a different angle? Are you looking at all the options that are available to you? Are you suffering in silence? He stops and thinks. He realizes that he has been going through transformations and changes, and he notices death standing there, looking at him without saying anything, in total silence. And he realizes he's been going through a shift, through changes, through transformations, as he's let go of the old beliefs, the old thoughts. And he's moved forward through this changes, through this darkness, into what appears to be light on some level. Temperance tells him, be careful, do not overindulge, think of moderation. Be careful, because the devil card arrives. The devil arrives and he says, I'm going to chain you to the past with your repeated patterns, your old thoughts. I'm going to keep you stuck where you are. The tower flies in and says, no, I'm going to shake up your world. I'm going to crumble your walls, break down your barriers, because the star arrives to tell you to shine your light, to have hope, to have wishes, to release the old baggage. The moon arrives to bring a sense of contemplation, to make you face your fears, your enemies. Are those enemies yourself as you work through that journey? The sun arrives to expose those things into the light, bring them into the light, and allows you to be happy and joyful in the moment. Acknowledge where you are. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. As judgment arrives, the judgment says to the fool, you are nearing the end of your journey. Have you awakened your true self? Have you become you? Have you allowed yourself the changes and acknowledged the lessons you have learnt? Because soon the world arrives and he says, time to say farewell. You have learnt your lessons well. You have gathered the knowledge that you have learnt. You have become an expert in this area. But do not forget, you are still the student of life. That's the story of the Fool's journey through the Familiars Tarot. Take care and blessed be from HeKate's Cross.